You are listening to Museek's Behind the Musos.
What's up, guys? My name is Imadh. I'm a recording artist from Mississauga, Canada. This is my song, Outside.
Outside, need to clear my mind, that's my way.
Hey guys, welcome back to Behind the Muso. It is season 2. We have cameras, we have a mic, and we also have Imadh. Welcome, Imadh. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, thank you. It's glad to finally meet you. Before we hit it off, I just want to say I love this song, Outside, but
Thank
I
you.
also love your song, Cut You Loose. I have literally had that on repeat for like weeks now. Like when I first found it, I was just like, this is it. This is just a vibe. So
Yeah.
that's a great song. But today we are talking about Outside. So
Right.
how do you feel since its release? When it was released pretty recently, right?
Yeah, I put it out. I put it out just a few days before Halloween, actually. So it's October, I think, the 26th. And yeah, since it's been released, it's gotten amazing feedback. It's actually grown much quicker than Cut You Loose has.
Right.
But to be honest, both of them are fan favorites. So
Yeah.
I don't even, at that rate, I don't even compare them. I just appreciate the fact that it's resonating with people, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really proud of it so far.
Yeah, well, you definitely should be. It's definitely a certified banger in my books.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
So what typically is your schedule for your release? Like what do you do, I guess, a month, the day before, the day of, day after? Like generally, what do you do?
For any given song?
Yeah, just in general. What's your plan?
Yeah. I definitely have room for more organization and, planning and things like that. I'm very much like a silent, like pre-release. I'll do a little bit of, oh yeah, I got something coming. I'll tease it a little bit. I do most of my marketing and stuff post-release.
Right.
So, one of the biggest changes I've made, I'd say in the past year, I mean, I've only been releasing music for a year, but one of the things that I've really started employing is ads. Paid advertising has gone a long way for me. It's helped bring my music to places that maybe wouldn't have seen it before. I mean, one of my biggest fan bases now is Morocco. And,
Wow.
Whenever I go on IG Live, they be up in my chat spamming the Morocco flag and they're just letting it be known that, they're in the house and they're representing.
That's good.
And it's funny because, I check the Spotify for artists. I check all the stats there. It's a nice spread of countries, but for some reason, my people in Morocco just be going crazy. But yeah, just to answer your question, it's really post-release is where everything kicks in for me. So it's, the ads and getting people to share. Well, a lot of people just share it. I don't have to get them to do it. They just genuinely like it and they want to support. And then I just keep the ball rolling until the next release. I'm a every 2 to 4 weeks kind of guy for releases.
Sounds awesome. So I want to ask about the paid advertising a little bit more. How did you first find out about that, and how do you go about actually initiating that paid advertisement?
Yeah, so I'm the type, I just scour YouTube. Like I'm really a student of the game. I don't really have any mentors or anything, so it's just you're on the internet, you just learn a bunch of stuff. Thankfully, YouTube, there's a lot of people on there trying to that have done it themselves and they're trying to give back. So there was a guy named Andrew Southworth. He's an artist himself, and he posted tutorials on YouTube. And I was like, what is this? Like paid ad? Like how much you got to pay? And I was like, when you're on the outside of it, you have all these questions. So I just went digging for answers, and sure enough, I was like, oh, this is a very real way. It's not just about organic attention these days. It's really hard to get that because there is an enormous amount of competition. So to think that you know, it's the protagonist kind of thinking to think like, oh yeah, people will just find me because I'm me, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to find ways to cut through the noise, and paid advertisements is a great way to do that.
Yeah. I love what you said about, you know, thinking your music would just speak for itself. And I feel like when we write music that we're super proud of, we're always just like I'm so proud of this. Everyone should be proud of it. But it's like so hard when the market is so saturated. But it sounds like you have such a devoted audience already. Like you're not getting 50 million monthly listeners just yet anyways. But you already have these people who are so like attached to you and are sharing your posts and are just devoted to you, even though you've had paid advertisements. And I feel like sometimes that has a connotation that when you do pay for advertisements, they're not going to be loyal. They're just going to be there because they're forced to see it. But you manage to turn those people into true fans. And I think that is critical. And I think you've done that really well.
That's huge because, you know, I see paid ads just as a user of social media myself. We all see them. And a lot of times you see them and you're like, okay, the ones for music, at least. A lot of times I'm kind of underwhelmed. So I've gotten comments underneath my ads where people are like, I usually hate posts like these, but this is just good. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And that's where so it's a combination of having that marketing acumen, but then also having self-awareness to know my product is good. I believe in my product, and I know it just needs to reach the right ears to create an audience, you know?
And that's so fantastic, that belief in yourself and in your music as an artist. And I totally agree. Having listened to it, like Josh said, I absolutely love it. And I actually watched the music video, and I loved it, by the way. You did an amazing job in production of that.
So I wanted Esteban too, the videographer and editor and director and everything. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Esteban. So also I wanted to ask about the process of creating that video, the music video. Did you take inspiration from the lyrics, or where did the kind of the themes and the motifs and the ideas come from in that video?
Damn. I love your guys' questions. I love them. There's nothing like a good question. Like when I get it, it's like taking a bite out of something like, I don't know, like a good burger or something. So I mean, that whole song, it literally came from very literal to the lyrics. It just came from a night drive that I took one night just this past September. I was going around my city, and we have like these message boards, these bulletin boards where you can put up posters and things, right? So I was going up, putting posters up of myself with my QR code. It's like something, you could see it on my Instagram too. I posted it a while back. So I was going out and I was doing that, and I was just by myself, and it was nighttime. I had like my stapler and I had like a bunch of posters with me, and it's just an example of just being on the grind, right? And I was just, as I was driving between bulletin boards, you know, the streets were pretty empty. I was looking at the city lights literally, and I was just like, just reflecting. I didn't have any music on. It was just one of those quiet drives, like just solitude. And I was just listening to myself and like in my own head, and I'm like, man, I'm really on this journey right now. I'm really here grinding, you know? And then, as soon as I had that beat, but I didn't quite know what to do with it yet. But as soon as I got back home, I was like, okay, the song started just writing itself. And so when I explained that whole story to my videographer, Esteban, and he started shooting out his own ideas about where to shoot, the whole transition between the sunset, like around that time, dusk, dawn. I'm getting them confused. Dawn is early in the day. Dusk around that time, and then transitioning into the nighttime. That's just like when the sun is setting, it's just such like a serene period of the day. And so that we got that scene of me on top of the hill and like driving down this road, and now you see the sunset. It's a perfect match, right? So that's how we came up with the video.
Yeah, completely unrelated, I also love sunsets. I just think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Nothing like that.
I just have to put it out
and
there.
sunrises too. Sunrises as well.
The colors are just phenomenal. But
Yeah.
so with the video, did you have any places, locations that linked up with where you actually were when you were thinking about the song? Like, was there a billboard, like, or whatever that was featured that you actually went to when you
like that inspired the creation of the song?
Yeah.
Like when you were on that
No.
drive in September.
Oh, okay.
No. That would have been pretty cool, but no, we ended up shooting. So I live in a city called Mississauga, which is about literally 20 minutes from Toronto.
Perfect,
So I was driving around like the border of Mississauga and Toronto, and my videographer guy, me and him, we went like so Mississauga's on the west. We went deep into Toronto near the east side, and then we went to like the neighboring city on the east side. So but that would have actually been pretty cool if we like literally went to the street that inspired the song, you know?
That's all right. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Free ideas.
Really cool idea.
So on the back of that, do you have a favorite moment in the production process as a whole? Is there anything that really stands out to you? Like, I love doing that, and I'm definitely going to implement that in my next release.
Oh, for outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So for this song specifically, very much so. This was the first time that I ever wrote a song without writing it physically or typing it. This was all like, I have my microphone here, which you can kind of I have the mic box you can kind of see there in the shot. I would just punch in, and I would just be coming up with lyrics in my head, listen back to it, how should it flow, and then come back and record. And that process of it was such like I was just in tune with my gut the whole time, and really listening back to the song and just just feeling the flow of it and trying to understand in the most simple way where it should go, not complicating the melodies, nothing crazy, just a natural, smooth flow. And the song turned out exactly that way. When people listen to it, they're just like, it's such an intuitive song, I think. And I want to replicate that for other songs, not necessarily always. I'll be in my phone thumbing away, like creating lyrics that are like so complex sometimes that it's like, get back to the music and just like, what do you feel? As a rapper and like lyricist, it's funny sometimes you be like up in your own head, but then you should come back to your gut. It's just it's a whole balance. But I think on that song, I struck it in a way that I want to replicate again.
Yeah, I think that's super important to understand. It should be like something everybody aims for, knowing when you get into your own head, because, you can know all this music theory or you can know all the best beats, but if you just try and make it complicated every single time, and that's where you start, you probably find that you're just, stopping yourself from achieving your full potential. You just got to understand when you got to bring it back, break it down, small pieces, start from the beginning. Because when you have a great idea, it's so easy to get ahead of yourself. Or at least it is for me, You're just like, calm down. I'm going to get there. I'm going to start here though.
Yeah. So, come back to the intuition.
Yeah.
Because I think, and hopefully I'm not straying too much, but, as a rapper and lyricist and all that stuff, it's for the longest time, my goal as an artist was to wow with lyrics. How do I wow people with impressive wordplay and double entendres and similes, metaphors, and all those type of things? And then as your career, as my trajectory as an artist has been going, one of my developing points has been the balance of reeling that back, dialing it back, and go, okay, can I tap into people's emotions without making it so complex? And then you end up with lyrics like, I've been driving down this road tonight. It's just me and my soul. people quoted me on "It's Just Me and My Soul Tonight" and put emojis like, I felt that, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it hits something. It
Yeah.
strikes a chord within us for some reason, and it resonates. You don't
Yeah.
always need to go crazy with the lyrics, you know?
Exactly. Simplicity shouldn't be overlooked. But since we're on, I guess, the train of thought of learning about what's best for you, what obstacles have you experienced during the creative process in general? And what do you think has helped you develop?
Obstacles in the creative process.
Like maybe think back to when you first started and to where you are now.
Yeah.
When you first started releasing, writing music, was there anything that was extremely difficult for you? Like, what did you learn from it and how did it help?
Yeah. I think sometimes it's being very ambitious with where I want to go, like melodically, like with my voice, like notes I literally can't hit. But yeah, that was a challenge early on. And not to say it's still somewhat of a challenge. Everyone has their range. But I just straight up was like, okay, how do you practice your voice? You hire a vocal coach. So I went and hired a vocal coach. We at one point were working together weekly. And I made strides at that point. We started working together, I'd say in March or April of this year. It's been a while since we've linked up, but even in that time, we probably worked together for like 5-6 months. It's been a huge difference, and it's just got me to really understand my voice as an instrument more, which has helped once again in that whole balance between the lyricism and the melody and the simplicity, right?
Is there anything specific that the vocal coach worked on with you? So you talked about using your voice as an instrument, but what does that mean to you and how did they specifically help you to develop?
Yeah. Well, my vocal coach, one of the most, man, she doubled as like my, oh man, like sometimes it felt like therapist almost, but not therapist in the sense that I'm sharing all these personal things with her, but therapist in the sense that once we finished, like I feel like not only my voice leveled up, but my whole mentality leveled up. So she got me to understand not only just the voice as an instrument, but the mind and how that the role it plays in delivering your voice to the world. She always used to say, "Don't doubt yourself. The world will do that for you." And
she's right.
That'll never leave me, because she always, one of the most common things she said with her students is, we all can generally do it, but it's just there's some limiting beliefs that we have. And we would do video calls, and she's like, I can see the moment where you're doubting yourself, and then it comes out in your performance. I'm like, damn, she's right. At that exact moment, there's a note you're about to hit, and it's up here. And side note, they say you shouldn't think of notes that way because that creates tension. You shouldn't think of them as up and down. But she's like, I can see the moment where you're like, oh no, I have to hit that note now. And you squeeze up your throat, and you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So I'm very thankful to her. Shout outs to Malakia. I'm very thankful to her for getting me to better understand the marriage between mentality and vocals.
Yeah, the voice is just such a unique instrument, and getting training and just getting a better understanding of your own instrument is super important. And I can only imagine how much that has impacted and how much growth has come from that. So it's been great seeing that you're putting in the effort to, learn more about yourself, and that's also then said in your music. So that's awesome.
Thank you. And just a side note, she also very much, she's a beast. She herself can sing like super well, obviously, but she's a performer too. And it's really, she's still performing now she's actively performing, and watching her videos on Instagram when they pop up, I'm like, she's like Franklin incarnate, or like Shaka Khan or something. She's just a beast. She just is one of those ones who can like belt her ass off, and it just captures the room. Sorry, could I curse?
Yeah. It's explicit.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
I'm not heavy on cursing anyway, but it might.
That's all right.
So she's just incredible on the performing aspect. So she's definitely pushed me in that realm and got me to, record myself performing and really understand and watch myself. How do you present? How is your face? What are your, like, are you emotionally delivering this vocal the way it should be? Because the crowd needs to be captured by that. If you're not convinced by what you're doing, the crowd definitely won't be.
Yeah.
So,
And even if you're not, you got to fake it till you make it, right?
have to. And eventually through that, but at the beginning, it might be a little uncomfortable, but as you continue faking, it's going to become real and you're going to feel the performance,
And then you believe it. You live it.
And then you believe it. And then they believe it.
Yeah. So looking into the future now, what direction do you intend to take with your music? Are there any new sounds or instruments or genres that you want to delve into and try? Or are you going to do more of the same, go for late night drives and see where that takes you?
Yeah, this is a good one. I, in many ways, want to be somewhat of a one-stop shop for people. I want people to be able to come to Imadh's discography on whichever platform they choose. And, I even set up playlists and be like, oh, here's this, like, me as an artist, I want me to have subgenres, and I already do. So just further developing that, whether it be R&B, whether it be pop, Afro beats, dancehall, and then I love the in-betweens too. I love songs where it's like, this feels like pop, but it also feels like rap. And then sometimes there's like dancehall flavors in here. Like, what's going on? That gumbo feeling. So yeah, I think just continuously, I'm already on the path of the genres that I want to do. And I think just constantly pushing each subgenre and then mixing them and having fun with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, just doing your own thing, just filling out what you think fits best for you.
Yeah, like recently, the song is unreleased, but I just featured on a collab song, which is very much Afrobeats. And I'm literally featuring on it with two other artists who are from Africa. And my background, my parents are from Kenya. So my parents are from Kenya. And then these two guys, one is from Ghana, the other one's from Nigeria. So it's just purely, purely African. The vibe is African. And it's like, why not? I want to be able to get a song like Cut You Loose, where it's just like a rap banger and you're like in the club, like, lately I've been alone with that. but then you listen to this other song where it's like, you're just like in like a, I don't know, just a dancey, like African vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It sounds so flavors. Awesome. Yeah. So when would we be expecting that to be released? When can we look forward to hearing that?
Are we allowed to know?
That specific collab?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I owned that song, but that belongs to my friend Akile Leonard. Shout outs to you, Akile. I'm gonna be doing a lot of shout outs apparently.
That's all right.
But he's super talented. Funny enough that you mentioned that your sister is a doctor, and I don't know if I should be saying that while we're recording, but here we are. My guy Akile is in med school and he's an artist, which is just a wild combination to me.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
I don't know how he does it. He's super talented too. So whenever he decides to put that one out, then we'll get to
shout out to him, and we'll be straight over there listening to it. So
yeah,
for sure,
excited for its release. But I guess to wrap it up for now, what do you plan to achieve by the end of 2022?
Ooh, at least 5 live shows.
Like a tour or just in general?
Not necessarily a tour. I don't think a tour yet. I think I need to build the audience locally. Like I was saying, I got people in Morocco, Germany, and it's great. But at the same time, I also want to continue to build here, just because it's easiest to perform now with all the restrictions.
Yeah.
So I think, having like at least 5 shows under my belt, that would be nice. Getting my monthly listeners up into like, I would love to be like in the 50,000 to 100,000 area. Right now it's hovering at like 5,000 or something like that. I would love to go times 10 on all my numbers, that's pretty much it. And just building relationships with like real fans.
And it sounds like you're doing that so well already. You said you've only started releasing music last year. Was that correct?
Yeah, last December.
And you're already, 5,000 monthly listeners. It sounds like you're well on track. Your music is amazing.
Thank you.
So we are thoroughly looking forward to hearing what you come out with in the future.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck with that for the end of 2022.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly. I think most people sort of dream of those numbers, like 5,000 listeners a month on Spotify alone within a year. Like that's crazy. So definitely, if you haven't already, give yourself a pat on the back, because you definitely deserve it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All good. But I think that's it for now. Imadh, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you? Spotify, Instagram, plug whatever you want.
So you can find me, Imadh Music, IMADH Music, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm really trying to boost my TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Pretty much anywhere where you listen to music or you use social media, I'm there. The same handle. Check out my releases. I got another release coming on December 17th, which I'm super excited for. So check that out.
There we go. All right. Thank you so much for coming on, Imadh. December 17th, we will be there for it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Just letting you know, this is coming out well after December 17th, but we will be promoting it on our Instagram page.
So
when it comes
I hope you're enjoying the new release.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on your favorite podcasting platform to never miss another episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Museek.app for all the latest updates and constant music recommendations. Be sure to head over to our website, museekdiscovery.com, to find our track of the week, curated playlists, blogs, and so much more.